What if I told you there's a place where living to 100 isn't rare? It's normal? No magic pills. No crazy biohacks. Just food. Simple, everyday food. And not just any food. Mostly vegetables. So the big question is, what actually happens when an entire population builds their diet around plants? Nutrient density. Let's get straight to it. Nutrient-dense foods are basically foods that give you the most nutrition for the fewest calories. Think vitamins, minerals, antioxidants. Without all the excess energy. And guess what sits at the top of that list? Vegetables. So naturally, scientists started asking, if people eat mostly vegetables, do they actually live longer? Okinawan longevity. That's where Okinawa comes in. This small island in Japan has been studied for decades because its people are some of the longest living humans on Earth. But here's the important part, this isn't just hype. Researchers verified this using birth records and long-term data. Organizations like the World Health Organization and demographic studies confirmed it. These people genuinely live longer. And more importantly, they stay healthier longer. What they actually eat. Now here's where things get interesting. Most people assume the Okinawan diet includes a decent amount of fish and meat. But when researchers dug into historical data from the US National Archives, the reality was very different. Their traditional diet was about 96% plant-based, around 90% whole food plant-based, and extremely low in processed foods. Animal products? Less than 1% of their calories. We're talking tiny amounts of fish, meat, eggs, and dairy, more like occasional additions, not daily staples. So what did they actually eat? Vegetables, beans, whole grains, and their number one staple, sweet potatoes. Not the fries kind. Purple and orange sweet potatoes, packed with nutrients. Why this diet works? So what makes this way of eating so powerful? It's naturally anti-inflammatory, loaded with antioxidants, and incredibly effective at reducing oxidative stress. That means less damage happening inside your body over time. And here's the key insight, researchers found this wasn't due to special genetics. It was largely driven by what they ate. Health outcomes. Now let's talk results. Compared to countries like the US, people in Okinawa experienced dramatically lower death rates, up to 12 times lower for heart disease, about 2 to 3 times lower for colon cancer, 7 times lower for prostate cancer, and more than 5 times lower for breast cancer. That's not a small difference. That's a completely different health reality. Calories and eating habits. Another factor? They didn't overeat. On average, they consumed about 1,800 calories a day. But because their food was low in calorie density, they could actually eat more volume and still stay lean. They also followed a simple rule: stop eating before you're full. This practice is called Hara Hachi Bu, basically, eat until you're about 80% full. Comparison to Adventists. And Okinawa isn't the only example. In California, researchers studied a group known as the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Their vegetarian members, studied in the Adventist Health Studies, also show some of the highest life expectancies ever recorded. Men live around 83 years. Women around 86 years. And with optimal habits, some reach close to 90. That's a gain of 10 to 14 extra years of life. Different culture. Same pattern, mostly plant-based diets equals longer lives. Scientific backing. This isn't just observational either. Research from institutions like the National Institutes of Health and the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health consistently links plant-rich diets with lower disease risk and longer lifespan. So this isn't one isolated case, it's a pattern backed by science. It's not just food. But let's be real, it's not only about diet. Okinawans also have strong social connections, tight-knit communities, daily movement, not gym workouts, just natural activity, and lower stress levels. They also live by a concept called ikigai, which means having a sense of purpose, a reason to wake up every day. And that matters more than you might think. The animal product debate. Now let's clear something up. Yes, Okinawans did eat small amounts of animal products. But there's a big difference between occasional consumption and daily dependence. For them, animal foods were more like a side note, not the main event. And this pattern shows up in other long-living populations too. What changed? But here's the twist. Modern Okinawa looks very different. Western fast food, like KFC, has become common. Diets now include more saturated fat, more cholesterol, more sodium, less potassium. And the result? Okinawa went from one of the leanest populations to one of the heaviest in Japan. And with that came rising rates of chronic disease. Public health response. Because of this, there's now a push to bring back the traditional Okinawan way of eating. More whole plants, less processed food. A return to what worked. Conclusion and what we can learn. So what's the takeaway here? The traditional Okinawan diet wasn't complicated. It was mostly plants, minimally processed, eaten in moderation, supported by a strong lifestyle and community. And it led to longer, healthier lives. But when those habits disappeared, so did the benefits. Which means this isn't about genetics. It's about choices. Simple, everyday choices that can literally add years to your life. So next time you sit down to eat, just ask yourself, am I eating for today? Or for the next 30 years of my life? If you found this interesting, stick around and subscribe because there's a lot more behind how the world's healthiest people actually live.